Hello everybody, and hello homesteaders. This is your year. We have been practicing for 6 years, at least at our homestead, at various locations and even farms. And never have we actually had a health crisis to try and practice in. So this is a really interesting year to really practice the overall lifestyle and the productivity of the gardens and animals, and it's a really interesting opportunity to kind of fake a survival situation. So our garden this year, we expanded by 30%, which is obviously a great year for that. And I just kind of wanted to give a rough tour as to what that looks like. This is going to be for squash to climb on and runner beans, which is going to be really pretty, but also we're expecting hopefully 30 or 40 pounds of food just from this trellis alone. So on this side, at the base of the trellis, we've got lettuce starts that were just put in today, and they're looking really nice. They didn't even need a couple days transition. It looks like they just took right away. It's warm and wet. We're in the Pacific Northwest. We're actually at the epicenter of this breakout, pretty much 15 miles from Seattle. And so really relevant having such a large garden to produce so much food for us. I'm not saying the grocery stores are going to run out of food and stay run out, but it's an interesting mind perspective to just kind of imagine if this was to progress. It might not. Hopefully it doesn't, but it's just it's an interesting thing being a survival homesteader and applying this type of I guess scenario. This gets really warm right here, so on this side we've got strawberries on a hill because they kind of cover and cascade down. And then up on the top we've got more lettuce, and we've amended with some various fertilizers, primarily goat bedding and rabbit poop because we have a lot of that. We've got a hardy kiwi on one side. This is a female, I believe it's an acai, which is a self-fertile variety that produces really delicious berries. Kiwi berries are probably my personal favorite berry that I could gorge on, that and cherries, but kiwi berries wins, I think. This is our Mediterranean garden. We've got the lavenders here. We've got some really dry crops that come from an arid region. So this is goji berry, and this is goji berry, another fig, another goji berry, and some more lavender. This bushes out really nicely and just looks gorgeous throughout the season. We've got the chickens in the garden. They get this much weeds every day thrown in, and they just kind of compost it in. Any sort of food scraps compost goes straight to them. But it's nice to have chickens right next to the garden because there's so much waste, or what could be waste, that we just chuck it right in. And that's been really nice for us. Now we are on a north face, and so obviously if you know gardening at all, north face gardening is near impossible. So if you've seen my past video of using a peasant hoe, that's the only reason this exists, is because I was able to use gravity and basically pull the dirt down and make these mound system raised beds. We've got a combination Asian pear at the end right here. Each of these are gonna have either climbing beans or some peas, or maybe we'll do some squash with some heavier netting so that it can really hold the weight. We've got one there. This is about 16 feet long. This one's about 8 feet long. This one down here is about 20 feet long. All of them have trellises because you want to utilize as much vertical space as possible. It literally doubles the amount of space you can grow. This is a really interesting tree. This is the Puget Gold apricot. What's cool about this variety for our climate is typically apricots flower really early and then get taken out by a late frost, which we usually get something. Well, this is the latest flowering variety that there is, and so what is great about that for us is we have a higher chance of getting apricots in this climate. Hi, Kiwi. What are you doing? Are you enjoying your freedom? Okay, so this is an interesting spot. We've got the chickens prepping this for us. We have bought an Apame beehive, which go check out the video of my review if you are thinking about purchasing a hive. I think it's a really, really good choice, especially for this climate. But this is where the bees are gonna go, and I'm having them kind of spread out some goat bedding compost that we just dumped here. And this is all gonna be flowers. This is the bee food garden. So if you're thinking about getting bees, definitely you want to be thinking about what are they gonna eat. You can't just hope that your neighbor has a bunch of flowers. You wanna have those flowers in your garden. That way you know for sure they're fed, and they're fed really well. Let's go check out the garlic patch. We've got 5 more beds, so buckle up. This is an unknown variety to us that we actually traded some elephant garlic, not actually a garlic, it's a giant swollen leek, but we traded the elephant garlic for this lady's old variety that she doesn't know what it is because she bought an old nursery as her property and the garlic was just growing there. So anyways, we traded her for some gorgeous garlic. As you can see, the garlic is growing really, really well. You plant it in fall, and by springtime, it's already this big. We're not even in spring yet. We have 4 weeks to go, or maybe longer. So now we're coming down to my favorite part, the part that we just added. Check out my last video of making this trellis. It's a hugelkultur bed that's 30 feet long, 6 to 10 trees, I lost count. This bed has probably 60 brassicas in it. It's got a ton of kale, black magic kale, which is a Savoy type. It looks like Nero di Toscano or Dino kale. And then we've got white kohlrabi and some chard mixed in. But this is all peas. 30 feet of peas that's planted every 4 or 5 inches, so super productive. And we're really excited. This doubled our trellis production for the entire year. So now we're on the lower trellis, and we just planted these out today. This is all going to be a really pretty flower mix. So like calendula in the front, and then we've got sweet peas under cups in the back. This is a super cool trick. If you've never done this, it works every time. It's trapping all the moisture. You take these clear solo cups after transplanting, and it turns out to be the perfect mini greenhouse. Traps the heat, traps the moisture, and then they take we've had 27 degrees now a few nights, and it takes it just fine. We've got some perennials here, some honeyberry, beautiful flowers, elderberry, peonies for beautiful flowers. It's starting to rain, so I gotta be quick. This has been happening. So we get rain, and then the sun will come out, the humidity shoots up, and it feels really awesome, like a cold tropical feeling. But here's our raspberry patch. This is triple or quadruple what we had last year. We put in these bamboo supports and then some wire to hold it in. This is a kind of an unknown variety because it's on our brother-in-law's property in Idaho, and we took 8 or 9 canes. So this will be a fun variety. We've got double gold and raspberry shortcake. This is a really super short variety, but excellent in production. So this is a really interesting tree. It's called a sea berry. This produces tiny little orange berries that are kind of sour, very high in vitamin C, and that's just covered in clusters of these little sour berries that are extremely healthy for you. So we've got a few of those. A male, you need a male to pollinate, but we've got a few different varieties of the female. This is the carrot patch. We've got cosmic purple, and then just a Nantes style carrot, orange carrot. So this is our comfrey patch. Every garden needs a large comfrey patch because it is one of the best plant-based fertilizers, and it's just gorgeous, covered in flowers. Here is our perennial bed where we've got various kinds of bulb flowers, also some edibles. So this is the Crandall currant and blueberry, spring birds. Oh, I love it. It's been super warm here, and this has been happening every day, so that's exciting. We've got hardy kiwis, 3 different hardy kiwis. This is the Yasta berry, sage, and then this is the Chinese gumi berry, which is a really excellent health tonic. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope that you have enjoyed seeing where we produce 90% of our food in the height of season. And get out there, make your own beds, Fill up your own pots, whatever you gotta do to eat your own food.